Okay, so we've got our e-commerce AI agent here, and it's hooked up to all of these tools so that it can make queries in our sales and inventory databases. I'll open up the chat and I'll ask it, what was our total revenue from coffee beans? And I'll send it off, and the agent is thinking, and it's using the sale product name query to gather all of the coffee bean sales, and then it sends it to the calculator to calculate that sum. And if I open the chat up, we can see we got our total here, which is 1,762, and it also tells us how it came to that conclusion. It found two sales rows for coffee beans with revenues of 908 and 85482, which is correct. So these tools are data tables, and you may have never seen them before because they are a brand new feature that n8n just released on September 22nd, 2025. The data tables are stored natively within n8n, and they look like this right here. Here we have the product sales table with columns for product name, quantity, price, total revenue, and sales date. And this is what the AI agent just searched through to answer our question. Normally, when you need to store and retrieve structured data, you rely on Google Sheets or Airtable or a separate database. And every time your workflow runs, it has to make external calls over the internet, which slows things down and can run into API rate limits. Data tables solve this problem because your data lives inside n8n, so lookups are instant and there's no external dependency. So that's what we'll be talking about today. And as always, you guys can grab this workflow along with the example datasets completely free, so you can get in here and start playing around with it so you can learn quickly. Anyways, let's get straight into the video. Now, before we start running queries, let's look at where this data actually lives. Right here in n8n, we have a brand new tab called Data Tables. You can see it sitting alongside your workflows, credentials, and executions tabs. I'm recording this video on the day of this feature's release, so if you don't see this tab, make sure to update to the latest n8n version. When I open it up, I get a full list of tables I've created. Let's make a new one together. All I have to do is click this drop down up top, choose Create Data Table, and then give it a name. You can name it anything you want. I'll name ours Product Sales Demo. I'll click Create, and here we go. Every table starts with 2 or 3 built-in columns, ID, created at, and updated at, which is automatically managed by n8n, so you always know when each row was created or changed. Now let's add some of our own custom columns for our data. At the top right, I'll click Add Column, and I'll type in product name for the name of the column. It can't have any spaces, and then we choose the type, which can be string, number, boolean, or date time. String is for text like product names or customer emails. Number for things like price or quantity. Boolean, which is true or false, great for flags like in stock. And date for timestamps or scheduled data. We'll go with string for the product name, and I'll click Add Column, and there we go. I'll add quantity as a number, price as a number, and revenue as a number. So you're basically designing a schema here, just like you would in a spreadsheet or database. Once the columns are ready, I can add rows. So I'll click this plus icon and type in coffee beans, for example. We'll make the quantity 4, price $15.99. And as you can see, the rows and the values are saving right away. This is pretty convenient, but if you already have data sitting in a Google Sheets or another database service, you don't have to manually type it all in. You can bulk import it right into this table with a couple of clicks. So let me show you how to do that. Back in our n8n workflow, you see we have these orange nodes here that resemble the data tables. To find them, you'll open up the sidebar and search for data tables. And you see we have this new node here that says permanently save data across workflow executions in a table. When you click into it, you see we have these standard database style operations: delete, get, insert, update. To demonstrate how this works, we're going to pull in the sales data from the Google Sheet. Then we're going to import them into this product sales data table in n8n. So real quick, let's delete the existing data in this data table. And I'll run the workflow to show you what's going on. Okay, that finished up super quick. This first node here pulls all of our product sales data straight out of the Google Sheet. And you can see in the output that we have all 50 rows. We pipe all of those rows to the insert product sales data table node, and this writes every row into our product sales data table inside of n8n. We just have to map our columns and make sure that the data types line up. Otherwise, it won't let you insert these values. So for product, we drag in product name. For quantity, we drag in quantity sold, and so on. And when we refresh our data table here, look at that. all 50 rows are here instantly, and we took all this data from this Google Sheet and put it into n8n so that we don't have to make external API calls every time we run our workflows. Now let's talk about one of the most useful things you can do with data tables: filtering rows and even triggering actions when certain conditions are met. This example here is an inventory alert system. Our goal is simple. Once an hour, we'll check which products are running low in inventory, and if any are at or below a restock level of 10, we'll send an alert so we can reorder before running out. To start, we have the schedule trigger node, and we set it up to execute once every hour. Then this data table node will get all the rows in our inventory data table. So here is the table, and we have two columns: product name and current stock. You can see a few products are under our threshold of 10 and need to be restocked. So back in the get rows node, we have a filter that checks each row to see if the current stock is less than or equal to the restock level of 10. That means this node will only return rows for products that need restocking. See, it only returned 2 items, and if we look at our data table, that is correct. So let's run the entire workflow and see what happens. Perfect. After the data table node, we have this switch node that checks if there are any rows outputted from the data table node, and if there are, it sends them to this email node so that we can get a notification if restocking is needed. So we use the product name in the subject and say low inventory. Then in the message, we show the product and the current stock level. And the email is sent to my inbox, so let's check my inbox. There we go. I have 2 new emails, one for each of the low stock products. And that's it, a really simple automation. The point here is to show you that you can filter with conditions when pulling rows from these data tables. Also, this example shows a very linear automation. You could also hook up an agent and give it access to the database tools and have the agent do the work for you. As your databases grow, filtering is very important because you don't want to have to send hundreds or even thousands of rows to an AI agent, which adds more tokens and increases the risk of the AI hallucinating and makes it more expensive. Okay, now let's move on to a more thorough demonstration that has to do with analyzing our product sales and inventory data. This AI agent node is hooked up to a chat trigger and various data table tools with filtering designed for optimized queries in our sales and inventory data tables. Oh, and a calculator. So if we open up the chat, we can ask this agent questions about our data, and it should be able to answer almost anything. By the way, here are the data tables. One has our sales data and the other has our inventory data. So let's ask which products were sold on September 19th this year and how many. So it's using the sale date query and then the calculator and then sending us back a response. On September 19, 2025, 3 product sales were recorded. Let's go to the data table to see if that's correct. Well, we'll just look in our Google Sheet real quick. So on the 19th, yep, 3 things were sold. Cold brew concentrate was sold twice, and milk frother was sold once with 5 units. I used the calculator to sum the quantities, resulting in a total of 12 units sold. Let's see if that's right. We get a sum of 12. Real quick, let's run through what exactly happened. Well, our agent decided to use the sale date query since our question had to do with a specific date. And we can see here, it sent the tool 2 pieces of input, a start date and an end date. And the tool used these 2 dates in its filter conditions so that only sales made on the 19th are returned. Then the agent takes the quantities of each of these rows and sends them to the calculator tool to sum the total. And we get our answer back in the chat. Now we'll ask it another question: which products are below inventory threshold and by how much? So it's thinking and it's going to use the inventory threshold query. And you can see that this query will filter out any of the rows that are not below the threshold. So we get just these 2 with current stock 3 and current stock 1, which is below 10. So let's go back to our chat and see that the products below the inventory threshold are cold brew concentrate with a current stock of 3 and pour over kit with a current stock of 1, which is correct. This time, let's ask it the same question, but we'll tack on how many sales did each generate. So we'll see if it's able to use 2 of the tools in one go. So again, it's going to use the inventory threshold query and then the sale product name query for each of those products. And we see that it gives us, again, the current stock of each of these that are under the threshold. And it calculates how many sales each of these has. If we go into the sale product name query, The input is the name of the product, and the condition is checking if the product string, the name, is equal to the incoming string, which is pour over kit in this case, and we get six of these as a response. So that's why we get 6 sales here. Real quick, let's open up the AI agent system prompt and I'll show you guys how I structured this. I have an overview, I have tools, I have the core instructions, I've got the explanation requirements, and an example. You guys can download this entire workflow, including this system prompt. I have a link in the description to my free school community. You'll just come in here and go to YouTube assets and find the video you're looking for and download the JSON file. Then you can go back into n8n, open a new workflow, and click import from file and choose that JSON file, and you'll be ready to roll. I'll also link the Google Sheets spreadsheets so that you can import them into data tables in n8n. And that's it. Now you know how to use data tables and integrate them into your own automations. If you found this helpful, give this video a like. It really helps the channel, and subscribe if you want more tutorials like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.